What's good, YouTube? It's Tyler and I'm back with another video. Now, if you've been following this channel for a little while, you know that this video is about 3 years in the making. I've been said I was gonna make another twist video. I never did, but it's finally time. Now, I know I kept y'all waiting long enough. I don't know why. That was the first video I ever made on YouTube. Now I'm finally doing a twist again 3 years later. So you can go back and compare it. The twists are gonna be better and my hair is longer. I don't have a sky top anymore, so it's gonna be a little bit different, but I'm not gonna keep the intro too long. Let's just get straight into it. All right, so before we get started, I'm just gonna show you everything that you're gonna need for twisting your hair. Now, some of these aren't mandatory. You can substitute them for different things, but these are just what I use every single time I twist my hair. So first of all, you're gonna need a spray bottle, then you're gonna need a comb, some type of product to actually twist it. This is what I'm gonna be using today. You're gonna need a comb to part your hair. This is optional, but I like using clips to hold the hair down after I twist it. You need hair ties for the section. This just depends on how long your hair is. If your hair is shorter, you can just use clips to section it off. You're gonna need some type of mirror to see the back of your head while you're twisting it. And then last, this is optional, a blow dryer just to get to the true length of your hair if you have tighter curls. As I mentioned earlier, you do need a mirror to see the back of your head when you're twisting it. You can use a handheld mirror, but I use a self-cut system. It's basically like a trifold mirror that hangs on the door, and it makes it a lot easier. Now, before I get into the twists, it's definitely time for a cut. All right, y'all, now I'm back. My hair is cut, and it's time to start detangling and blow drying. That's step one. So first, like I said, I'm gonna section off the hair to make it easier. Now, keep in mind, these sections aren't gonna be the sections that I twist my hair into. These are just for detangling. I think I'm gonna go 4 today, but then split each 4 into 2, so it's technically gonna be 8. And another key is make sure your hair is washed before this, because if you twist dirty hair, it's gonna make the hairstyle last not as long as it could have if your hair was clean. And dirty hair is harder to manage too, and you're gonna be getting dirt everywhere when you're doing it. No one wants that. Now you can start in the back, front, left, right, wherever, it doesn't matter. I start back left basically every time, so that's what I'm gonna do this time. Now I'm gonna get a spray bottle with just some water in it, just to add a little bit of moisture to the hair before I detangle it. On a normal day, I would put some leave-in in there too, but I just applied leave-in last night, so I don't wanna oversaturate my hair. Depending on the porosity of your hair, it may take less or more water to get it wet enough to work with. Mine is low porosity, so I need a lot more water. Now when you detangle, you're gonna wanna start from the ends and work your way back to the roots. So instead of just going in there and trying to pull it all the way down like that, you're gonna damage your hair. What you wanna do is grab from the ends, and as it gets easier and easier from the end, you wanna work your way up to the root until you can just get one comb stroke all the way through without it catching on any hair. And keep in mind, when you detangle, a little bit of hair shedding is normal because your hair sheds every single day, but you don't want to have clumps of hair coming out. That's definitely a problem. Now, once you feel like the section is detangled enough to blow dry, again, this step is optional. So if you're not gonna blow dry, just leave this section alone. But if you're gonna blow dry, you wanna add some heat protectant to your hair so you don't damage it. This is the heat protectant I'm gonna be using today. You wanna apply a generous amount all the way throughout the hair and then just rub it in. Now for the blow dry, I always start on medium heat and the highest speed. As it gets harder, if the hair is not combing out, you might need to turn up the heat to high, but don't do it for too long at a time because you could damage your hair. You can see the hair is starting to stretch out already. There's still some moisture in it. That's why it's still kind of poofy. But as you go through it more and more, it's going to stretch out more and more. Also recommend investing in a heat glove. It's like $5 because when you're holding it like this, it gets very hot. But as you can see, this section is almost done. I'm going to go through it a couple more times until it's fully stretched out. Now this section is done, and again, it's basically just the same process for every other section. I'm gonna come back when my hair is fully blow dry. Okay, now I'm done detangling and blow drying. I know I look like an auntie right now. It's time for step 2, parting the hair. Now parting is going to differ person to person. It just depends on your preference. The way I like to part is a middle part to the top of my head, a circular part at the back where the top and the back of my head meet, if that makes sense. So to make sure you get the best middle part, you wanna line up the comb with the bridge of your nose and just go straight up. And that's where your middle part will be. If you do your hair enough, you'll have an automatic middle part. My middle part is like ingrained in my head, so I don't really have to make it every single time I do my hair. And just to refine the part, you wanna go in with the tail of the comb. And this is way easier to do with a metal comb than a plastic comb. You can go in with the teeth and get these little flyaways like that. Now I'm gonna, but the part really don't have to be perfect, but it's kind of like trial and error. getting the right amount of hair into the right parts. But once you think it's good enough, then you can move on to the next step. This is how it looks. And now it's time to section it and start twisting the hair. All right, so every time I twist my hair, I start with this back section, but since it comes to a point at the sides, I grab a piece from each side and start twisting it right there. And that also helps me determine the size that the twists are gonna be. Now I think this is the thickness I wanna go with today. Just a moderate size, not too thin, not too thick. You're gonna get your product. You wanna get a generous amount because you don't want the hair to be dry when you're twisting. I put about this much on each twist. Now, to start the twist, you wanna rub the product all the way down your hair so it's covering the whole piece of hair. And if it still feels a little bit dry, you can add some more. Now to start the twisting process, you're gonna split the piece into two and then put one piece over another. So I'm gonna put the left piece over the right piece. And I'm gonna pull it to make sure it's tight. And I'm just gonna repeat this process all the way down the twist. What you can also do is roll it with your fingers to make sure it doesn't unravel as you're twisting it down. So I'm just gonna repeat this process all the way down the twist. And once you get good at it, you can start going a little faster with it. Now, once you get all the way to the bottom, you're gonna take your finger and wrap it around so it doesn't unravel. This is optional, but you can also put a rubber band on it. But since these are twists, I'm not gonna do it. I only put rubber bands on braids. But now I'm gonna attach this clip to the end so it can hang and it won't start shriveling up while I'm twisting the rest of my hair. I'm gonna do the same thing for the corner on this side. Now we got the two corners done. I'm gonna go straight to the back and start on my first section in the back. Now again, I'm gonna make this section based off of the two twists that I just did so I can get a gauge of how big they should be. Now what's important about making this section, your head has a certain contour, so you can't just go straight across. You have to follow the shape of your head. And again, you can just do it roughly at first and then refine it as you go. So I'm just gonna do it with my hands first to generally see where the section should be. And then once I find the exact spot, I'm gonna refine it with the comb. Now it's time to get started on the twist in the first back section. So I got it sectioned off now, as you can see. Now this is what it's looking like right now with the first section done. Now judging by the width of this, I think I'm gonna have 3 more sections for the back and then I'm gonna move on to the front. But so far it's looking good. I know this is gonna take me extra long because I'm shooting a TikTok and a YouTube video at the same time, but I gotta get the content either way, bro. Now I got the second section at the back done, looking super good so far. I'm gonna do this one on camera. I might speed it up. It's kind of triangular at the edges. So I'm gonna have to part this in a triangular part instead of a square part. I forgot to mention this earlier, but when you're doing your parts as the sections go up, you wanna offset them so each twist has a place to lay so it's not laying on top of each other. So I'm gonna line up this part right here, the triangular one, with the middle of the part under it. And now this is what the part looks like, and I can twist this one right here. I'm gonna do the other side right here, like I did the first one, and I'm gonna split this section into 2. Now this is the last twist, and I'll be done with the entire back section. Now that the back is done, this is how it's looking, and we can get right into the top section and we will be done soon. All right, now it's time to start on the front. And the front sections are a lot easier because you can just see what you're doing straight on. You don't have to look in the mirror from a different angle, but it's split up into 2. I'm gonna start with my right side. And the way I part it for this is kind of in a circle around my head. So I'm gonna start by getting a section right here. This is how big my section is gonna be. Now that I got the size, I'm just gonna continue it going all the way around my head. Now, as you can see, I got the whole section parted off. Now it's time to start twisting. I'm gonna grab this piece in the front because the front twist is really what matters the most. People will be looking at when they see your face. You gotta make sure this one is good. Sometimes I had to redo it like 2-3 times. I feel like this is a good size. I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna make the part a little better. And I'm also gonna section this part off so it doesn't interfere with when I'm twisting. That's what it looks like, perfect. And you're gonna do the same thing, going all the way around. The most important thing is just making sure your parts are all the right size to make sure you don't make it harder for yourself than it has to be. Do you ever have a twist that's on the corner of your head, like where two sides meet and you have to pull it together tight? It's gonna hurt. It's gonna be freezing, nigga, but you gotta get through it, bro. Because if you do it too loosely, it's gonna unravel super easily. Now this is what the front right section looks like. And I'm gonna come back when this section is done. We gonna be completely done, finally. All right, so we just got fully done. This is what it's looking like. I'm finna give y'all a 360. Now it's time to moisturize the scalp. First thing I'm gonna use is this rosemary water from As I Am Naturally. Now I'm going to use this African Royale Super Grow and apply it directly to the scalp. Then finally, I'm going to use this mousse from As I Am and put it onto my scalp, and then use a blow dryer to make sure it seeps into the scalp. Now I'm gonna let it sit like this for about another 10 minutes. Then I'm gonna take the cap off and take the clips off, and we can see the final result. Now I got all the clips off. Now it's time to take the skull cap off and see the final review. Looks great. Now I know this term is overused, but I don't know what else to call it. I got a little side mission. Since I just turned 21, I gotta get my horizontal ID. I was waiting until I did my hair to do it, and it closes in like 40 minutes. So I'm gonna leave right now to go do that. All right, so I'm on the way right now. They close in 27 minutes and I'm still 15 minutes away. So I don't know if they gonna fuck with me, but we gonna see. I might they gonna make me pull my hair up out of my face. So I don't know how I should wear it. But if my picture is good, I'm gonna make it my profile picture on every single platform. Y'all gonna be tired of seeing the picture, but if it's bad, we just gonna act like it never happened. You know what I'm saying? I just got done. Mission accomplished. The picture came out great. They did make me tie my hair up, and I thought it was gonna look ugly, but it looked straight. You know what I'm saying? It looks smooth. As soon as the real one come in the mail, it's going on all my social media. Now, if you're in tune with my lore, you would know that I lost that picture 3 days after it came in the mail, and I threw away the paper. So that picture don't exist nowhere except on my phone and on my social media profile. But if you also in tune with the lore, full video coming soon.